Hey everyone. So usually, everyone has this question that how to get started with our cloud journey. We all are always hearing about this buzzword. What is cloud? What is cloud computing? Is it very tough? How is it different from normal client server model? Why are industries moving towards cloud, right? And there's a lot of things on, how we can move towards cloud. As a fresher, what should I know about cloud? So this video is my first video, and I'm trying to make you understand what is cloud, what are the different things around cloud, and how you can get started with cloud, and what are the different training resources and everything. So feel free to watch it, share with your friends, and if you don't like it or you have any comments, suggestion, feedback, just leave it in the comments. So what actually is cloud? Okay, so cloud is, this is just a definition, but think it of it as this way. If you rent your friend's computer to maybe play some games or watch some content over the internet, right? Just because your computer is slow, your laptop is slow, that is will be like a niche example of what is cloud computing. So cloud computers, or say cloud as such, is nothing but a remote computer which is sitting at a far away locality that you can access via the internet. And it does not have to be a whole computer with like CPU, storage, networking, like mouse, keyboard, desktop, everything. No, it can be just the CPU part. So you are using their CPU on your monitor via internet, right? You just want the processing power, or you need additional storage. So you are using their hard drive over the internet and storing your content in their hard drive. So it is just a, let's say, laptop renting service, okay, at a like bare minimum in layman terms. So that is what cloud computing is. Cloud does not mean that your laptop is actually sitting in the cloud or something like that. It is just the renting or the sharing of resources via internet. And those resources can be compute, storage, network resources, or memory resources, anything like that, right? And it how it happens is, somebody sets up a data center. So what is a data center? Data center is a collection of lot of servers, okay, like lots and lots of servers, networking components. So you'll put 10, 30 CPUs all together, RAM chips all together, hard drives all together, right? And serve from there. So that we will, it will be like a combined capacity, combined processing power, combined storage power, things like that. So that's how it works. That is a data center. So somebody's gonna set up a data center and give you resources in like bunch, like divided small blocks over the internet. And how that works, that is all about cloud, different deployment models and things. And whatever word I'm saying, it will be explained. You'll get to know about it more. But this is how you can start. So cloud is, renting somebody's computer. Now, in cloud, they can be compute. So compute is what? When you perform calculations, when you perform operations, when you run your software. So compute is nothing but your CPU. That is compute. When you say I have Intel so and so processor, or I have AMD so and so processor, or in mobiles when you say Snapdragon so and so processor, right? That is compute, computing power. So renting somebody's CPU, somebody's compute power. Storage, okay, I have 1 terabyte of storage. I want solid state drive, I want normal hard drive, right? I want a pen drive, memory card, optical disk, all these are storage. So you have like tons and tons of storage. And of course, power. You need power to run like every laptop, everything runs on electricity, right? So you need the power. So that is what makes the cloud all together, right? But there are different service models in cloud. So let's say, like I told you, right, you can just rent the CPU from your friend, or you can just rent the monitor from somewhere, right? Things like that. So in cloud, there is something known as service models. Now, what is a service model? So service model is something, the way I will get in an agreement with the cloud provider, or the type of service I leverage. To give you an example, let's say if I want to say to the cloud provider, so cloud provider is someone who has set up the data center and whose resources will use. So basically the owner of that system or those compute resources, right? Now, if I tell a data center owner or a cloud provider that, hey, just give me a bare metal machine, just give me a blank hardware, and I will install the operating system. I'll set up all the softwares, I'll set up all the connections, ports, everything, and I will use it the way I deem it to be. Okay, so you are directly taking the infrastructure from the cloud provider. That will be known as infrastructure as a service, the third model. Okay, so that is infrastructure as a service. You are saying that provide me the infrastructure as a service, charge me on the basis of infrastructure, and I'll do the rest of the part. Okay, first part. Second is that you are telling, hey, you manage the infrastructure, you set up the server, you create all the, operating system and everything, and give me a platform. I'll install the softwares, I'll work on it. Okay, just give me a platform with the operating system and I'll manage the platform part and my application part. So that will be platform as a service. And I'll give an example of, okay, each one of these. Now, what if you say, hey, I don't want to manage anything. I just want to use on a pay as you go model. That will be software as a service. Okay, so you just want to take the software directly on a pay as you go model. That will be software as a service. Now, for example, okay, you are using Gmail. Okay, Gmail is not hosted in a like a traditional on-prem data center or something. Okay, it's hosted over cloud and it's being served to you as a SaaS application, as a software as a service. Of course, you're not paying for it. It's free for individual users, but for business users, it's paid, right? Or for after like a certain amount of 15 to 20 GB storage, it is paid. So it's software as a service. Or let's say YouTube, right? If you use YouTube Premium, it's software as a service. If you use normal YouTube, of course, it's a free version of software as a service. Or if you, let's say, go to, some managed website where you can actually go and deploy your application, like, in a container maybe, or just with a pre-set up environment, that will be platform as a service. Somebody says, hey, you just code a software in Java and we have your JRE, JDK setup. Just come deploy your application here and it will be up and running and pay us for that. So it will be platform as a service. And infrastructure as a service will be again, when you go and take a, virtual machine or something from a cloud provider. So we'll know how that works and everything like that, right? Okay. So we understood about, how the different service models are and how different kinds of services are given to the cloud providers, like by the cloud providers to the cloud customers, right? Now, there are different types of cloud as well. Like there are different types of everything. A cloud is divided into various, deployment models, something like that. So, it's based on the community it caters to. So let's say I am a cloud provider and I say anybody can use my cloud. So it will be a public cloud. You can just go sign up there, start paying, start using their services. It's a public cloud. But let's say I'm a company and I say, hey, these many servers are dedicated to me. Nobody else should be able to use them. Someone else's data I don't want on my servers, right? So that will be a private cloud setup, just catering to that particular customer. Hybrid cloud can be, mix and match. Okay, some of the servers are private, some of the servers are public. So it will be like a hybrid cloud setup environment. Or some of the servers are on-prem and some of the servers are cloud. So that whole setup will be a hybrid cloud setup. And community cloud is something that caters to a particular community. So let's say Apple has Apple Cloud, right? iCloud. iCloud is just meant for Apple users, not just Apple employees, not the general public, but a community. So it's a community cloud. Or Sony has its own cloud, right? For PlayStation and everything. So it's a community cloud. And public cloud providers are like your Amazon AWS, you might have heard, Microsoft Azure, IBM, Oracle Cloud, right? Google GCP, these things. And private cloud, is set up using your own data center or a dedicated server in somebody else's data center and using the hypervisor software. So we can discuss more about those. But those are the like main four kind of clouds wherein, people can go and leverage their resources based on their requirements. And again, in all of these clouds, you can have, software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Now, when you talk in terms of cloud, I would like to briefly touch upon security as well, because when, you usually will hear people saying that, hey, we want to move to the cloud because it is more secure, or we don't have to actually perform the security. Or even if you are in an organization, you hear you're like, administrators saying, let's move to the cloud. We don't need to take care of the security. But that's not the case. It's just that, cloud refers to broad set of security policies by default by the cloud provider itself and based on different service models that we learned, software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. So It's as simple as the more control you have over the cloud, the more security you will have to implement. The lesser the control, the less will be your responsibility. So in software as a service, you don't need to do anything, right? You're just a user. So you don't need to take care of the security much, right? You just have to need to take care of your access, right? But if you are using infrastructure as a service, since you are the one deploying the operating system, you are the one deploying the platform, you are the one deploying the application, you will have to be the ones configuring all ports, protocols, group hardening policies, everything, right? Operating system practices, coding practices, everything you will have to do. So that's how it works. And overall, this practice is known as shared responsibility model, wherein the cloud responsibility is divided between a cloud customer and a cloud provider based on the service model. So, as a maybe student or a fresh professional, whoever wants to, get started on a cloud journey, it's always about using the cloud, how you can get, look and feel of the cloud. So if you say, the Amazon cloud, the Microsoft cloud, the IBM or the Google public cloud, these are some of the resources, these are some of the links that I can put in the description, wherein you can go and access some of the free cloud resources. These are usually free for students or professionals with a credit card using a free tier. So just go ahead and create your student account. So for Amazon, there's something known as AWS Educate, wherein you get free access. Or for Azure, there is Azure for students, wherein you get around annual $500 worth of credit to use the cloud, along with free learning sessions on Microsoft Learn, same on AWS Academy, right? And for IBM, for Google, everywhere, students and, budding professionals get those free accesses. So you can go and actually explore those cloud resources and start your cloud journey. We'll be back with more detailed videos, but, this is where you can get started. And same, some of the training resources are for Amazon. You can go to aws.training. Pluralsight is a website that gives you like initial 1 month free access, and you can learn about each and every cloud provider. For any labs, like how to actually use the cloud environment, like say, hey, how can I get like a Windows laptop over a cloud or a Windows virtual machine over a cloud? You can use Quick Labs. So it can tell you how to do that on AWS, how to do that on GCP or Azure. It has all sort of labs free. And for Google, you can again go to, cloud.google.com/training. So all these resources are just lying there